Well, today's topic is a doozy. I put out some posts in this last week that really got a lot of attention and kind of riled some people up, all about ketones, ketogenesis, ketosis, ketone products, high-fat diet, fasting. It's all linked together. Let me go through it. And today, hopefully, I'll clear it up. It's a little more informal because I wanted to get this out to you as soon as I possibly could. So let's get right down to it. First, we are talking about ketones. Ketones, when fat is broken down in the body in a normal metabolic state, when fat is broken down in the body, the fatty acids, they form what's called ketones. Ketones can then be used to make energy just like a sugar would, just like glucose would in your body in the right ideal state. Now, you can get these ketones from a lot of different ways. One way you can do it is by fasting. 48 hours of fasting equivocates to 10 days of nutritional ketosis. Nutritional ketosis is eating the high-fat, moderate protein, sometimes high protein, low carbohydrate diet. And then there's also a third way you can get ketosis or ketones in your blood, and that's through taking an external product or an exogenous ketone. Okay, that's the third way to do it. All three can create ketones in your blood. Now, here's where it starts to go crazy. What's the best way to do it? Is there a positive to one over the other? Is there a negative to one or the other? Well, this is where I got into a lot of people sending me a lot of different information, arguing with me online. Here's the deal. I'm not making any statements here. I'm just trying to say I want to think this thing through. As someone who's been using ketones and following the ketogenic diet and a proponent of it and using it with people one-on-one in my programs for years now, I want to make sure what we're doing is safe, it's sound, and it makes sense with our philosophical orientation of how the body works. And let's go right to that. Take a look. Here's a study out of Cancer and Metabolism. Metabolic reprogramming induced by ketone bodies diminishes pancreatic cancer cachexia. That means ketones, the ketogenic diet, the ketone model here, improved cancer. Here's another study right here out of the Cell Cycle, and it says ketone body utilization drives tumor growth and metastasis. Here's another study showing ketones push cancer the wrong way. It actually raised the size of these tumors by 280% in 4 weeks. Really big deal. So you got one saying ketones, ketosis, ketogenesis improve cancer. Here you have one saying it makes cancer worse. Which one's true? Truth of the matter is they both are. Here's another one. Insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance altered by maintenance on a ketogenic diet. And this one was in endocrinology, from the Endocrinology Society. Here's another one from the annual New York Academy of Science. Ketone esters increase brown fat and overcome insulin resistance in other tissues. All right, so here's one that's showing that a ketogenic exposure, ketone exposure, can cause insulin resistance. Here's one saying that it can improve insulin resistance. Which one's true? The fact is, they both can be true. Here's some more. Heart disease. Ketones, high fat, low carb, ketogenic diet alters myocardial oxidation. It raises oxidative stress in your heart, causes problem. Here's another one. This one is out of nutritional research. Here's one here out of Nature Publishing Group. All right, and it says improvements in coronary heart disease and risk indicators by the ketogenic diet. All right, again, pro-heart disease, against heart disease from the same type of concept. Which one's true? The truth is they both can be true. We have some here that say inflammation. That a high-fat diet and ketogenic diet improves inflammation. Here's one that says it causes inflammation. Big studies here, big studies, as well as insulin activation. We have other ones on cognitive decline. We have other ones that show that it improves cognitive decline. I'm sitting here right in front of me right now. I have about 34 studies that I've gone through myself over my time studying them, and I really extrapolated a lot of information. So what is the deal? First, I have to tell you how ketones get formed in the human body, right? In order to make ketones, fat has to be broken down. In order to break down fat, insulin has to be very, very low. Insulin is a hormone that puts on fat on your body and stops fat from being broken down when you're trying to lose weight. Insulin. So when it's moderate to high, you're not getting access to that fat. If it's moderate to high, you're not getting access to that fat, therefore you're not making ketones. You can't have a ketogenic diet. You won't have high levels of ketones in your body. But here's what can happen. So obviously when people fast, that's the ultimate high-fat diet because you're living off your body fat. Your body's making a little bit of sugar that it needs internally, and the rest is coming from your fat. High levels of ketones. In 2 days, 3 days, you're right up there with anything else. Or the ketogenic diet, high-fat, moderate protein, low carb. Okay, the other way then is by taking ketones in a product. But here's the problem with that. If you are not already in a ketogenic state, so that means if you're not either fasting or following a ketogenic diet to naturally be in ketosis, meaning your insulin is down and you're producing those ketones as we're designed to do, and so if you're not in that state, meaning that you have moderate to high levels of insulin going on, and you introduce ketones from an external state, suddenly you just created an artificial metabolic state. It's never existed in the existence of our human genome. It's not natural. The idea of having moderate to high insulin exposure at any given point in time and then adding ketones artificially on top of that is a completely new metabolic state that we just simply do not have much experience with. And it is this artificial state that seems to be producing some of the negative effects in these studies that we're seeing. This is how a natural ketogenic state of ketosis, making ketones in the body, can be pro-health, reduces cancer, reduces heart disease, reduces insulin resistance, and so forth. Whereas having high ketones from an external source while your insulin levels are moderate to high can produce problems. It actually fuels some of those cancers. We know that cancers eat sugar, right? Cancers eat sugar. They use a lot of insulin. They do that until they metastasize. Once they metastasize, now they use mostly glutamate, an amino acid. That's why people with cancer start to waste away. The metastasis of the cancer using amino acids. And guess what else it can use? It can use ketones at that point. So that's what is driving that side of things. So there's a whole lot of things to consider in here. Basic fundamental issue is taking in ketones when you have a moderate to high level of insulin is not normal. And you can't expect it to be normal. Does that mean you can't get some benefits? No, people are seeing benefits. People are getting the mental clarity, which is why I looked into this in the first place. People are getting increased energy. Some people think it's helping them lose weight. But what's the payoff? What is the payoff? What other mechanisms are we driving? What other problems could we be fueling as we're getting this mental clarity? How much mental clarity is worth a tumor? How many pounds off your body is cancer worth to you? I don't know. I'm not saying for sure that is driving that. I'm saying we don't know. These haven't been around enough. When you look at the studies as well, and anytime you see high-fat diet causes brain inflammation, high-fat diet changes genetic alterations, high-fat diet causes heart disease, high-fat diet causes insulin resistance. When you see these studies out there, you have to read into them very closely and realize this is a high-fat diet. They're going up to 40% of the diet is fat, and 42% is carbohydrates. That means 18% protein. You can't just say you're eating more fat and that's a high-fat diet and that's what's causing all these things. Having higher fat in your diet and having higher insulin, just like with the ketones, is causing the problem, because when you fast and you go on the ultimate high-fat diet, your body's using your own fuel of your fat for energy, your insulin drops, and guess what? There's no inflammatory markers. Very, very little. They go down. Insulin goes down. All these other inflammatory issues go down. It's the opposite of what happens when you eat high fat and high insulin producing or high carb diet. And so all of these studies, if you get into them, if you get into the methods, into how they're doing this, and you see something that says a ketogenic diet, not talking about taking ketones, or a high-fat diet causes something negative, double check. They're not checking that in a natural state. They're checking it in a pro-insulin state. And it's the pro-insulin that causes the reaction when they're both there together. Because really, in our development, we never had both high-fat foods and insulinogenic foods together until now. We never did. Just like we never had an insulin metabolic profile in our body, and we're able to raise our ketones to the level we can with ketone products. It's totally never been done. It's unnatural. And so when you look at it that way, it's like, oh, maybe it's that unnatural state that's causing this negativity. Maybe it's this unnatural state that's causing the oxidative stress, leading to the inflammation and so forth. And as it turns out, I think it is. I think it is. So you back things up. I want to do things in the ideal state. Look, taking ketones does raise ketones in your blood. It does. But it also stops ketones being made in your body. Let's slow it down. I've been going pretty fast. Here's another study. And it basically, bottom line, it shows that there's a negative feedback loop in there. Meaning that as you make ketones, just like when you're fasting, you get to a certain point. That level of ketones turns off your fat burning so you don't make any more ketones. Why does it do that? Because if you go into ketoacidosis, you could die. And your body doesn't want you to die, so it doesn't do that. So now, if you're in a state and you're taking ketones from the outside, you hit a certain level, that message is going to go back to your body and say, stop breaking down the fat. We don't need any more ketones. We have it here. Add in an insulin-energetic state. A person who's got insulin, maybe they went out the night before, had pizza, had a burger, had whatever, and today they're taking their ketones and they're raising that. You have a double whammy. You're producing a growth environment rather than a repair environment. Very important. We want to be in repair stage in our metabolism. It's a completely different hormonal profile. Insulin stimulates the central nervous system. It's sympathetic. It drives our sympathetics. It lowers our parasympathetics. It's inflammatory. It has an issues, and that's where the secondary issues come. So it's kind of like going, hey, it's like exercise. You know, we know the benefit of exercise. So if I show up to a 5K race and I buy my number and put it on my chest, and then I just go to the finish line and I start there and get my trophy and I say, okay, I'm done, but I didn't run the race. I got the outcome. I got the benefit, but I didn't do the deed. The whole point of going into ketosis or creating a ketogenic state is we have to train that metabolism. We have to train those mechanisms because that's what influences our entire body, from our brain function, heart function, liver function, fat burning, everything hormonally, neurotransmitterly in the right way. The presence of ketones doesn't make you burn fat. It actually stops you from burning fat. The one thing that does determine whether you're burning fat in a healthy environment or you're burning sugar in an unhealthy environment is insulin. So by taking these ketones, you could be cheating yourself out of the whole thing and putting yourself at risk. I don't know, though. I don't know. If you are, on the other hand, in a full ketogenic state, if you were in nutritional ketosis and then took the ketones, would you get some benefit? Maybe. I tested this on 6 people, myself included. It's not a clinical trial. It's not going to be published, but I did this with 6 people that I've been working with who are in nutritional ketosis. These are people who have been basing their lifestyle and their diet in a point where they're producing ketones. They're burning fat. We know that because of the breath test. We tested their breath for acetone, and they're in metabolic fat burning. Okay? We tested their blood, and their number's up there. They're in ketosis blood-wise. And we tested their urine and saw that there's no ketones coming out, which means their body's absorbing it. They've been doing it a while. Then we gave them a ketone product. 1 hour later, when we tested the breath, they're no longer metabolizing fat. They went out of ketosis metabolism right there. Their blood number went up because they just drank it. It's in their blood. Just like if I drink alcohol, you'll find alcohol in my blood. Right? And the urine strip started showing ketones, which means they're spilling it over. So, big issues here. What does that mean? It means that ketone product took them out of nutritional ketosis. It could have taken them days. They were in pretty good fat adaptive state, so it probably would, maybe one day or even overnight if we did an intermittent fast, but it took them out. They stopped burning fat right there. And that's what we're seeing with the negative feedback loops that are going on, that when those ketones hit a certain level, to save you from going into a damage zone, that's why you can't go into ketoacidosis with a diet. You can't, okay? Because it automatically has that feedback loop. You start drinking it or taking them in a pill, powder, or potion, and that same feedback loop gets triggered and you stop burning the fat. You stop breaking it down. So it all depends on your overall neurometabolic state. How long am I going here? Holy moly, almost 15 minutes. Neurometabolic state. Nervous system. Is the sympathetics turned on? Are the parasympathetics driven down? Big deal. And are you in a repair state of human growth hormone and glucagon, or are you in a growth state of insulin? If you're in insulin, it's pro-inflammatory, and it makes all these different factors worse. Okay? So when you're looking at high-fat diets, check out what else they're eating. Because if they're in an insulinogenic, high-fat diet, that's the worst you can do. Okay, that's a problem. If they're in a low insulin, high-fat diet like fasting, then you'll see all sorts of health benefits. And that's how we get the dichotomy and all these different studies. Now look, I hope that helped. You know, this is going to be up there. You can watch the recording. I'm not trying to pick fights with anyone out there who's in this camp or that camp. I'm trying to understand this. I'm trying to think this thing through. If you are been doing this and you've been struggling, it's not helping you, maybe weight, maybe your hormones, maybe whatever you're doing, and you want a little more direction, go ahead and message me on Facebook. Go ahead and message me and we'll see what we can do, maybe set up a call or something. But there's a lot of information out there. I encourage you to dive into it, and if you see some of my facts that are wrong or off, let me know. Do it nicely, but let me know. I want to know too. Okay? I hope that helped. I'm going to do a more formal presentation on this at some point. I'll actually put these into a PowerPoint or something like that so we can go over it because I get tons of questions every day. So again, this is Dr. Don Clum, yourwellnesstribe.com, and with Aduro Population Health. So keep following. Hey, if you like this, share it with someone. Share it with someone you know who's doing ketones. Share it with someone who knows who's doing a high-fat diet or a ketogenic diet or is training that way or whatever. If you don't want to tag them, don't tag them. But if you guys want some of these studies too, when you share it, I'll have your list and I'll get them to you. I'll make them available. You know, it's all out there. All of these are available online for free, and I can put them together for you. So hope you got something out of it. Put a comment or two in there. Message me if you need to, and keep following. Thank you all very much.